What's up, people? Welcome to part 2 of our analysis video. This video will be more of a battle video, where we will be analyzing most of the combat. So here you see the behemoth gate box we made. It was made by 2 gates in the front and 1 on each side. Next time I think I will make it 2 times 2 because it was a little bit short on one of the sides. The reason we built this was because we could put like unattended dinos there. We put the Rexes and Gigas, as you see, and also parasitariums to cover so no birds can fly in and fuck with our dinos. This will also make the enemy push, because we have like a safe house, and then they will want to take that down. As you saw, they pushed with the Brontos and got pretty fucked up. So yeah, this is a smart move to do. And it don't take too long to farm either. I think I spent like 1 hour or something, not even that, like 40 minutes before the raid, and farmed like 6 gates. And yeah, it helped out a lot. Okay, so let's first start off with like talking a bit about the battle plan we had, or some pre-work.
So yeah, we had 3 plans, I think. Where the first one was to attack from the seaside, and it was mostly based on kiting Gigas out, and the seaside was like the closest to Gigapen. So we wanted to destroy the gate and just kite out the Gigas and drown them. But we figured out it would be too risky because we were unsure if some all Terranova players could turn out and still have some Plesios under their control with plants, and that would too easy fuck us up in that situation. So that's why we didn't choose that one. We also have the second plan, which was attacking from 2 sides, but one of the sides also included water, so that wasn't a choice either.
Yeah, that's and also it's not too good. We figured it was not too good to split, so
yeah, we just that just made us weaker, sort of. And the third plan was to attack from the land side, which we already had tried out before, and that worked quite well. So that's why we just went with that again.
Yeah, so what we did, we built the small pen you saw, which made us being able to spend as much time as we want, basically, because we had the dino safe inside there, and we could just take out plants and use the time we had, I guess. So that's why we the raid was very patient, and we took out a lot of plants and just played it slow and calm. Yeah, also we had the small like spawn house which we built just for some beds, etc. And yeah,
because we also figure out if we have only one spawn house, which is on the Bronto, it could be hard to spawn there if sort of the Bronto is attacked, and you sort of right when you spawn you die from just AoE damage from, for example, other Bronto tails and stuff like that. So that's why we tried to split 2 spawn houses, and so we had one on the ground built by Grey, which is just a small house with few beds, and then we had the second one on the Hyperion, and then we had the dinos in sort of middle. The dino pen was in the middle between those 2 spawn houses. Yeah, and also the main plan of this battle was sort of to get them too hyped to attack, and so they sort of walk out of their base, and we just were sort of holding our position near the spawn house and dino pen, and they chased us by we attacked with Quetzes first to attack with plants. And they got like really hyped and stoked, and just then we just sort of backed off with Quetzes and everything, and they just chased us more and more until the end. They just took all Brontos and walked out and just started to chase us. And the second they took out the Brontos, we just took out Gigas, Rexes, and just started to, and even one Bronto as well, and started to the Bronto battle sort of, and that was the main point when. And that was also the point where they lost, because the second we got the first Bronto, the moral went really high up for us, and we saw the first best Bronto dying, and then we just went ham and killed everything.
Just went on.
Yeah, and just went on, and they didn't even had time to back off either, which was really good for us. And we also, if you talk about moral, you can also see Snackman was like, when we killed the Bronto, he was like saying, "Oh, I just ate 28 Quetzal eggs," which also we also figure out, which was he quite knows that we are going to win
already gave up. Almost.
Yeah, they already gave up because they started to spawn items, eating eggs and stuff like that, which was also great to have in mind while sieging the base.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about more about the battle. Let's start off with the Bronto battle, which you saw as they had 3 or 4 Brontos or something. I can't really remember.
At least 4.
Yeah, okay, something like 4. So yeah, what happened here was they pushed with the Brontos. We got a bit stressed out. Things were going bad in TeamSpeak, and everyone was a bit mad and stressed, I guess. Until we started seeing things going right for us again, like we killed the first Bronto and all that. So what we did, we had they pushed with 3 Brontos.
They pushed with 4, but the thing here is that the second they went out, we were like really sketchy about it, because last time we had the battle with them, the Brontos did a lot of work for them, and we lost a lot of or Gigas lost a lot of HP, Rexes lost a lot of HP in that, so we were really like paranoid about the Brontos. But when they pushed now with the Brontos, we kind of sort of went backward and let them push even more. And we also kept the Quetzes all the time in mind, sieging, and we didn't want to leave dinos unattended. But the second, or like Cross of Death, pushed was like too much up in the battlefield, and it started to like be bloody and stuff like that. People got a bit paranoid and were like a lot of like angry people in TeamSpeak, like guys, what are you doing, and such things like that. And but then the Parasterium died, and then we rushed with the Gigas and Rexes for damage and stuff like that, and we saw things dying, and people started to calm down as well, and we sort of managed to work out the situation within the TeamSpeak.
Yeah, so what we did, we used the Gigas to kill the Brontos. We also had Rexes to do a bit more damage, so we don't like use all the Gigas at the same time.
Yeah, and we also had the Bronto with Mastercraft Saddle with a lot of damage in middle, trying to slam around with his tail and do a lot of damage as well, because Brontos have as much base damage as the Rexes, which is really useful for a hitbox with the tail as well. And when Cyrus said that we only used a few Gigas at the same at one point, it's because the dino rotation is really, really important at that point. It's because you don't want to bring all your dinos too low on HP at the same time, and that's why we only use 1 Giga at the same time. And because when you have, for example, when you have 1 Bronto, and you have 3 Gigas hitting it, the Bronto sort of does damage to 3 Gigas at the same time, right? But if you only have 1 Giga, then the Brontos only do damage to 1 Giga at the same time. And that's why the rotation is so important, because you don't want to lose so much HP on all your dinos, and you want to rotate them. And that's why you have built for example, the riding house we did. And that was the main thing Cyrus did. He was rotating between dinos while I was like on air defense on one of the Quetzes. He was rotating and putting, when one of Gigas went too low on HP, he rushed back to the house, took another Giga, went out, and let the other regenerate its HP.
Yeah. Also, be careful about leaving unattended dinos, as we left the Quetz, as you can see, and they pushed it immediately with the Rex, and like that could have gone really badly, but we managed to survive.
Yeah, I had to jump off the Quetz to move out one of Brontos that took too heavy damage. But remember that the Spyglass is one of your really powerful weapons in battles like that. You to like whistle dinos, passive, neutral, stuff like that when you have to control them, when you don't have that many players on, and it's too risky to jump off the dino because you, for example, die of the AoE damage. That's, for example, the mistake I did. I jumped off and I got glitched and lagged out and got swiped 3 times by a Bronto and died. And yeah, that's really important when you have when you can rotate and assign your dinos, which one stays on passive, which one you take back, which one you move up in the battlefield, and which ones you want to have on neutral. And that's mainly the thing that Saros did really well for us, that battle. And that's what was one of the factors that did also provided that we did it so good.
So watch out with neutral passive and like rotate your dinos, get some fresh ones out when the other ones heavy damage, and should like do it.
Yeah, and here you also have the point where you want to have the meat stacked, and when your Gigas are on too low HP, you put the meat on them, and then you rush out with the other Gigas and let the others regenerate the HP.
Okay, let's get to gripping people. It's often a really important thing in PvP. We didn't actually use it too much in this raid, but it's like a vital PvP factor, I guess you can call it. So what you do, or what's good, is we only used Quetzes this battle, and what's good about the Quetzes is they have such a large grip range or hitbox, so you can grip people from without being like exactly above them, which is way harder with a Patera or Argent. So what you do is, well, I guess it's in the word, you just grip people, either fly them away. We often fly people out to the sea and drop them there. That's making them having to drown or either swim back to land, which will take them a lot of time, which will give us more time without the enemy players on the battlefield.
Yeah, because the whole point about gripping people from the dinos is that the dinos are much weaker without people attending them. And when you grip one person, you don't want to kill it instantly, like Sarah said. You either want to drop them one place and keep them tranked, or you want to fly them away to the sea if there is near sea, so they sort of have to drown first, or which takes the time as well, or just swim back to the land. Or you want to have already built a box on land where you just drop people in for like a prison sort of, so they have to sort of punch themselves to death, which takes a lot of time as well. And
Yeah.
that's how you take. That's basically still the time, and you have more time to control the enemy dinos and the things you want to do. And the second thing, when you're, for example, on how you can escape the factor that people can grip you, is to build foundation on the platform where you, for example, sit. If you have Bronto platform, Quest platform, or anything else, you just build the foundation on the spot where you sort of sit when you ride the dino, and then you will be unable to be gripped. That's a really good thing to like eliminate that weapon from the enemy team.
Yeah, a lot of Katana's Brontos had foundations on the seats, so that's why we weren't able to use the gripping too much in this battle.
Yeah, there was one, I think I managed to just fly down and grip Snackman mid battle when he was riding one of the Brontos, which also I flew him away and gave us some time.
Also, how to escape being gripped, or if you're gripped. As you can see, I was gripped in mid battle and they tried to drop me on top of their plants, but it didn't really work out. I first parachuted by mistake mid-air, but it worked out because they dropped me and I didn't take any damage when they dropped me on the roof. Then I just ran off the roof and parachuted again immediately and started eating raw meat, or not raw meat, I mean cooked meat, to regain HP and then just land safely on the ground. So if you want to avoid being gripped or want to at least try to survive, bring parachutes, and if you notice that you won't survive this, if they drop you too far out in the sea, you should just try kill yourself as quick as possible.
You also can try to trank the dino or do a lot of damage with your pike or something like that to get them scared and paranoid to drop you as fast as possible. And yeah, that what Sarah said about the cooked meat. Cooked meat doesn't only regenerate your sort of food points, but it also regenerates your HP, which is really important after you have taken lethal falling damage or something like that. So keep that in mind. And also, when you have already spoke about the gripping people, we can always also say about the dino gripping. Mid battle, I saw Snackman sort of running around on Sarko, so I just sort of went in and gripped the Sarko. But I also saw a lot of people around the Sarko, so I didn't want to put it down, so they could like whistle follow or passive or something like that and take it away. I just took it, gripped it with my quest, and flew it to like before Giga and Rexes, so the Rexes and Giga could sort of eat it while I was holding it. And that's a really efficient way to eliminate some of Carnos, for example, Sarkos and stuff like that.
Yeah, what you also can do is just drop them in the water, because during a raid, most people won't have time to fly out in the sea to go pick up a Carno or a Mammoth or whatever you drop.
Yeah, you have also to keep in mind that the water is a really lethal weapon in this point. Like for example, when you kite out Gigas, kite out Brontos and stuff like that, the water it's hard to get them out in the land. And remember that when you ride them, you don't when you want to take them out of the water, you don't want to be riding them because they lose stamina and they drown easier. You want to have them on follow. That's how you
Yeah, but you should make sure to mount them every now and then and check
Yeah.
the oxygen, because they often drown if they're only on follow.
Yep.
But stamina don't go down on follow, so that's a good thing to keep in
so
mind.
so you want to mount and dismount.
Okay, now let's talk a bit about what happened with the Ballista thing. As you saw in the second clip, or I mean part 1, I did kill Grey, or I guess we didn't do it wrong, but it could have been done way better. So what we should have done was I spammed 10 bolts, then the player should go pick him up, then 10 more, and then the player should go pick him up. Or I mean not 10, but you should always check the HP, but you should plan a amount and then the player should pick up, and not just spam and do it random like me and Grey did, which resulted in him dying, and we lost a bit more bolt than we needed.
It's really about patience, and it's about if you're being greedy or not. If you can afford the ball just being lost, then just don't be bothered picking them up. And if you want to keep them, just have someone with armor just running down, and after like every 7th bolt, he just picks them up, and sort of have like there's only no bolts when you have to hit the last bolt, so the bolts doesn't despawn. The Giga usage in this battle was mainly for killing dinos, but there's also a huge bug in the game now when the Gigas glitch out and they don't do any damage. So you have to watch out, and how to fix that bug is to dismount and take off the saddle and keep it in your inventory for like 4 or 5 seconds. Then put it on again and mount it down again. And
yeah,
then
but
it will
it's not always that's working. So
it's just sometimes. And it's
Gigas.
hard to do with mid battle as well. And the enrage, it's we've managed to figure out that they fixed the enrage. So when you fight the older Gigas, you should just push with as much power as you have and try to bite as much as you can, and then they will get enraged.
Yeah, it used to be the Gigas only enraged when they take full damage almost, but
now
they have to be
now they're fixed with every single damage. And the other important factor in the fight is to minimize death of your tribe members, because it's very important to have as much tribe members as alive as and in the battle as possible. For example, for riding dinos, pulling dinos on passive, or picking up bolts and stuff like that, everyone should participate with something. And the second thing which we kept in mind was that at some point we saw that Snackman and other players went really quiet. So we started to check, or we had someone always rotating and spawning at our base to check if they're trying to siege our base or something like that, which is really important as well. Keep that in mind. And then you have some factors about teamwork and after raid work, which Cyrus will talk about.
Yeah, you have the teamwork. You should always like plan out, be patient, talk calmly in TeamSpeak. Don't go crazy or mad, and do things as a team. As you saw, we had really good teamwork. Especially with the Quetz battle. I think we did really good there.
Yeah, you have to keep in mind that there's no player in this game that can do everything for himself. You sort of have to feel for each other. You're a team and you have to work as a team, like me protecting Cyrus when he's riding a Giga, so no one can pick him up. Yeah.
And also after the raid, there's a bit things you should do, or at least we did. We went around and killed all our dinos. Or took the little loot we found, or they despawned most of it, and we took out the rest of the plants and stole the fertilizer, and just things like that. The reason we did this was the reason we killed all their dinos was because we didn't want them to come back. We didn't really want them on the server anymore. They were a bit toxic and did a bit bad things, I guess. And yeah.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. But have in mind to have time. always set up time not only for the raid but also for cleaning up, because there's a lot of cleaning work you have to do, and it took us around 2 hours at least.
Yeah,
Cleaning up, moving dinos back. You have to farm meat for dinos after the raid as well when you put them in your base so they don't starve throughout the night and stuff like that. That's really as important as the whole battle. So keep that in mind, and yeah. So yeah, that was all we were supposed to talk about.
Yeah, if there's anything you wonder about or want to ask, just feel free to ask in the comments. We will try to answer as good as we can, I guess. Or if we did something wrong, you should also try correct us.
Yeah, there's always really fun to read the comments and stuff like that. So just come with feedback. Everything really appreciated. And we'll see you for the next video. We'll be making a how to raid video.
Yeah, a bit
That's
of
right.
how to primitive raid, I guess.
Yeah.
Because that's our specialty, I guess.
Yep. So come back and check out that video as well. We'll see you then.
Yeah, see you. Thank you.